everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Behind Enemy Lines, the show where no one roots for the home team. I'm your host, as always, DT, resident Cardinals fan living in New England, along with my other fans of teams that are not the home team. Joined, as always, by Jay, our Jets fan, Cox, our Bucks fan, you lucky prick, and returning after a 1 week hiatus due to illness is our favorite uncle, Uncle Mario.
Hello.
How we doing, boys? I guess I'll start with Unc because I missed him the last week or so. How you been? How you feeling? Everything going all right?
Yeah, boys. Thanks, man. I missed you guys. Seriously, I was sick, man. It beat my ass. They actually did 4 COVID tests on me. Really? They did 2 rapids and 2 labs, and they said, no, you don't have it. You must have like a flu. But it beat my ass, but I'm feeling good now. I'm ready. At least it happened before the season started. So this way, I'm not sitting in bed feeling like a turn up. So
for sure. Yep. That's why we try to do those like couple of end of preseason episodes to kind of get our feet back under us in terms of presentation and talking in podcast form again. But in case any snafus happen, we can kind of work out the kinks of how we want to schedule things and all that. But so glad you're feeling better. Appreciate you. Without you here, Jay had the worst opinions on the podcast. So that was new.
Okay. Shots fired.
I'm just fucking with you.
Hey, what do you mean? That was backhanded. That was
yeah. Yeah, that was to both of you.
On 2 fronts.
And that was bad that Jay didn't get that. That's what it was.
I'm just messing with you guys as always. But Jay, how's it going this week? How you feeling?
Cautiously optimistic.
I think that's
that's about the only way to phrase it.
Yeah, it's about the Jets' MO all season. And last but certainly not least, because, you guys just played a football game.
We did.
I shudder to ask, but how you doing, Cox? How's it in Bucksland?
I mean, I'm doing good. I'm coming down from the slight heart attack I had, last night. But other than that.
Oh, man. I can't wait to get into that. That's going to be a lot of fun, boys. But
yeah.
I want to talk first about some news that we missed, both with our little week gap at the end of the preseason and also the news broke right after our last episode was published about our boy Mac Jones. We all said he should be the starter, and apparently Belichick listens to Behind Enemy Lines because not like 6 hours later was Cam Newton cut, and Mac Jones was named QB1 over in New England. Interesting move, I think, for a lot of people. We've had, again, about a week or so, maybe even 2 to like settle things down, but there's still news coming out about what's going on. Cam's, started talking again about the whole situation, and Mac's poised to make his first start this week against those Dolphins. So I guess because we kind of missed a week and there was a lot going on with that, I guess I want to talk to everybody and see like what's your take on that? I know a lot of us last time were saying that this was a good move. It made sense. But even with like now the media stuff getting into it and Cam kind of talking about, what happened, I want to get y'all's thoughts and takes on it. And I think just because we haven't heard an opinion from him in about a week or so, I'll start with Unc.
First of all, I think it was the right move. I think, listen, Cam was so bad last year. I mean, he was so bad. I mean, people were over in New England. They were clamoring for that guy. So they bring in Mac, and he lights it up in the preseason. I mean, he looked great. I mean, you take preseason with a grain of salt, but the guy just looked really poised, really comfortable. And I think Cam saw the writing on the wall. It was an interesting article where, they said to him, "Hey, how do you feel?" And he's like, "Well, I'm just going to bow out. I bowed out because I think he would have been uncomfortable. What did you say, DT? He felt the aura. He would have been afraid of my aura, which, if you want to take that, I think it's pathetic. But at the end of the day, I think this is what you do. You get that guy. You want him to be your number one, and you throw him in there. Listen, they got a decent team. It's not like you're bringing him in and you don't have. Listen, Jay's squinting over there, but they did bring in a lot of free agents. They did bring in a lot of people this year, And if you're gonna have a rookie quarterback start for your team, I think they put him pretty much in the best situation that you could actually do. So I think it's going to be a good test this weekend. I think Miami's got a pretty decent defense. So we'll see. But yeah, I would think it was a good decision by New England.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was the direct quote, was that he would be intimidated or afraid of his aura and wouldn't be able to perform up to
everything about that.
Yeah. No, I want to go to you last because you're in division, so
You would.
you're in division, so I want to go to you last, but like I said, I do think it's the right call for Mac, and despite what we do here dumping on the Patriots, with three of us being in New England territory and watch the dynasty and what have you, I think we're all hoping against hope that they're just the worst franchise of all time going forward. But calling a spade, Mac's got a good front O-line in front of him. Jonnu Smith is a red zone machine. Most targets, I think he was like top 3 in red zone targets last year or something. I can't remember the exact stat. Don't come for me in the comments, please. And they have some guys who have a lot of upside. I don't want it to happen, but I'm not going to be, shocked if they're, relevant kind of going forward. Cox, what's your take on the Mac Jones business, the Cam Newton business, the whole dang thing?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely the right move. I don't know. The only thing now is that their backup is Brian Hoyer. So I find that interesting, as they haven't gone out and gotten anyone else yet. Because Brian Hoyer is just not a competent backup at all. But this is definitely the best situation for Mac Jones. I don't think Mac would have really been intimidated by the aura at all. I mean, he stated on WEEI on his Monday interview that he wasn't surprised that he was named the starter. This is what he prepares for. He prepares the same way. He did beat him out in camp. And it was really, when Cam missed time after his, breach of protocol and he couldn't be with the team for a little while. It was, leading up into those joint practices with the Giants that Cam kind of really solidified the job as his. So this is the right move for the Patriots moving forward. They understand it too, because Cam was really he was going to be there for a year. And if he's good, if he did somehow manage to be good, then and you just let him go, that looks bad. That looks dumb. So just getting rid of him now when he's on no money, pretty much, it makes the most sense to get rid of him now. Just go with Jones. I just think they need to get a different backup, because Brian Hoyer, we know, just once he gets inside the 20, he kind of shits his pants. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's definitely the right move for the Patriots, and they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be a dangerous team going forward this year. So
aside from the fact that I'll go. Aside from the fact you saw the good goddamn name of Hoyer the Destroyer, I believe everything you said.
How dare you?
Mary, you got something to add?
I just wanted to piggyback, real quick off of what you were saying too. Is it speaks volumes, because I think Belichick's way is, I think they would have loved to have had Cam win the job and started the season and actually use that to eventually trade him to somebody who needed a quarterback. I think I could see them doing something like that. He's done it before. But I think it was just, like you said, the joint practices with the Giants, he did not look good. He did not look good at all. So I just think that it was really a no-brainer. He basically opened the door for Mac Jones.
Yeah, and again, if you believe the Rob Ninkovich quote of, he was teaching the offense, parts of the offense, to Cam, that alone speaks volumes as to then Cam's been in this offense in a whole other year. How does he not know the offense? Now you can argue that obviously Cam might be also teaching, Mac things about the offense. But still, if you're at the point of they're collaborating with each other and teaching each other, okay, well then at this point, it's not veteran versus rookie. These are two equal quarterbacks in your system, and you have to treat them as such. And Cam won out in performance. So it just, I'm not surprised I'm not surprised Mac got the job. I'm still a little surprised that Cam got cut, but it's the right move for the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I think that's fair, Jay.
Well, shit, all my good points have been taken. Cox literally just said what I was going to start off with. I was surprised he got cut. Not surprised Mac won the job. Just because backup quarterback in this league is more important than I think people give credit for. I do think that Bill is one of those kinds of GMs and coaches that doesn't want the outside noise. And if both of those guys are on a roster and say Mac has a rookie game or 2 rookie games, 3 rookie games in a row, then it's going to be ESPN all goddamn day, CBS radio all day. Should Cam start? And so I think this was Bill kind of getting ahead of that and just saying, you know what, we're going to take our lumps and just roll with the rookie no matter what and not have all that outside noise come in. So I get it from that perspective, but also think, again, I was surprised that he got cut. I think that they could have kept him for a little bit. As far as the aura quote, I mean, the Pats knew who they were getting when they signed him last year. He's always been that guy. He clearly can play in the league. He's just not ever going to be a starter ever again. He's not going to be like coming out of camp as a starter probably ever again. I think he'll sign with somebody at some point, just because he can still. He's better than Hoyer to Cox's point. He's just not ever going to light it up like he did in 2015 ever again. Trying to think if there's any like good points that I have. I just think, I think it's just Bill just saying we're rolling with him, and that's it. Period.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got one more thing just on top of it. If you also think about it financially, Mac Jones is on his rookie deal. The earlier you can get him into the offense, and it's more like a seamless, motion for him, the more you're optimizing that rookie contract.
Yep.
Because you can better evaluate him in this first year and see what else you need to bring around him in order to really make him flourish. If you can do that in the first year, then that gives you one extra year on that rookie contract to kind of be like, okay, now we're going. So it just, again, that's why a lot of these teams now are just starting them earlier, because you can really maximize what you get.
Well, the best example of it,
cap.
And for our generation of football fans, the best example and the most pertinent example is Russell Wilson. They were able to build that monster team around him because he was still on that rookie contract, and they won a Super Bowl, damn near almost won another Super Bowl.
Yep.
We won't talk about that one, but but yeah, that's kind of the blueprint now. Is if you nail, Mahomes is another good example. They nailed that draft pick. Again, obviously he was way better, and they had to pay him quick. But it's kind of the blueprint now. Like, nail your rookie quarterback, play him early. If he's lights out, then you can build the team around him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Solid model. I'm with you there. It's interesting for me because it's a totally new era in New England. First rookie QB to start week 1 in the Belichick era, which is going to be interesting to see no matter what. I guess kind of final thoughts on the whole Cam situation. I want to ask you guys, do you think he signs with a team? And if so, who?
Whichever team has their starter go down first.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He's an injury away of getting a contract.
Yeah.
That's probably pretty fair. But again, just to
on the team.
Yeah.
It has to be a similar system.
Well, let's say Carson Wentz goes down again.
No.
I could see the Colts sign him. Why not?
No, because he just wouldn't fit that system at all.
I think a perfect team would be, listen, last night, Dak Prescott looked really, really good, and I know we'll get into that. But if he was to go down again, I can totally see Jerry Jones picking up the phone and calling Cam. Just because he's a high-profile name. He's better than Danucci.
I see more division rival. If something happens to Fitzmagic, Rivera reunites with Cam.
I
Try-
don't see
tries
that
to coach him up.
because he's the one that got rid of him.
Yeah,
that's-
Rivera has stated that he would not bring Cam in.
No. Yeah.
He's
the
he
one
said
that
that
basically
before?
got rid of him. Yeah.
He's on the record as saying he doesn't want him.
All right, I didn't know that, but yeah, I thought.
You remember they were
together
together in Carolina. And he basically was like, I'm ready to move on from him. So I just don't see it happening there.
All right, I just won't say anything ever again. You guys can ruin my fun. That's
Well, you're wrong.
that's sweet. No, I'm just fucking. Any other fun?
I liked your point, Dave.
I thought it would be interesting if we were theorizing and Mr. Actually had to fucking come in. Any other final thoughts on Cam Newton, the Pats, anything like that before we move on?
No.
I'm glad.
But I'm sure somebody will be feeling his aura. If
somewhere.
goes down.
Somewhere for sure.
Somewhere.
I mean,
Yeah, man.
it's almost guaranteed. But with that, I want to transition into Thursday night recap, which is especially poignant because it's one of our team's games. And we had, Coxie's Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Dallas Football Cowboys. And it was a way more interesting game than I think any of us expected.
Yeah.
I'll actually, in kind of a reversal of what we kind of do sometimes, is I'll have you go first. What were your thoughts on the game? What were your thoughts on the team?
I'll start with positives. I'll start with Tampa and I'll start with positives. Brady looks good. Brady still looks good. Dude does not seem to be falling off of any cliff anytime soon. So the O-line looked really, really good. I don't believe they got a sack on him at all. So yeah, 0 sacks. So I can't complain about that. Some of the, Evans didn't have a great game, but I think, they all know that it's kind of going to be a rotation of whoever's really open, who gets the separation. If they key on you, then you're probably not going to get the ball a lot in that game. Godwin had a couple drops, and the fumble I didn't really necessarily like. But the offense, for the most part, seemed okay. It seemed good. The defense, I'm worried about Todd Bowles not learning that he doesn't have to blitz all the time. He's blitzing too much. He's still doing that. I know that's his MO. I know he loves that, but this is probably one of the most talented front fours he's had. So he can kind of let them go. Because every time they brought the blitz, it wasn't getting to Dak at all. They got 1 sack for 12 yards.
Dak Barrett.
If you're blitzing a lot, and Shaq looked good. Shaq did look good. The front four did look pretty good. But you just can't keep blitzing, especially you were just allowing Dak to carve you up. They were using a lot of quick release plays, a lot of what Tom used to do back in New England, a lot of those quick valve plays, just to kind of get around your blitz and you kind of off to the races. A lot of CeeDee Lamb in that respect. Quick throws to Michael Gallup when he was in there for the first 2 or 3 quarters, and then he unfortunately got hurt. But it was really, really working for him. The play calling for Dallas was really, really, really good and well varied in terms of where the ball was going across the field. Ultimately, weirdly enough, this came down to 2 kickers. And Suckup versus Craig Sirline. And who would have thought that after all of the years of torment, the Bucs would have with a kicker, that they would win a game because of their kicker. So Ryan Suckup coming up big, and Brady again engineering another game-winning drive. It's kind of just what he does. If you give him 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes, minute and a half to go win a game, he's probably going to go do it. So good first win, good to get things going, but there's definitely a lot to improve on going into next week. And next week is home against Atlanta, so that's a good little punching bag that you can have. But on defense, you still have to kind of play with Calvin Ridley and stuff like that. So you still have to have your wits about you. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, good win. Bit scary at the end there. But Dallas made me think. Dallas made me reconsider them going forward for the rest of this year. Dan Quinn has that team or has that defense looking a lot more organized than it did last year. And their offense, I kind of forgot how well Dak can just sling it. I mean, 42, what was it? 42 of 58. That's insanity. The only thing is that's just not going to be, you can't rely on that all year. You can't do that. But I think they were mainly just trying to keep Ezekiel Elliott in to pick up the blocks or pick up the blitz, and he did that really well this game. So great football game. Ultimately a great kickoff to the year.
Hell yeah. That was one of the better opening ones we've had in years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jay, keep rolling with it.
Oh, okay. No, Cox makes excellent points. Obviously, it's his team, so he knows the ins and outs of them better than I do, just because I offhand follow them. But I totally agree. Brady, Jesus, dude, the only like mistakes that he had were a couple overthrows, and then the picks weren't even on him at all.
Yeah.
So that pains me to say it as a Jets fan because he tortured me for fucking years and years. But yeah, he still looks good. Offensive line looked good. Running game, I'm worried about, like severely worried about. If you do face a defense that can shut down that passing game, which will be hard to do because you have a million options in that offense.
Right.
But if that time comes, I don't foresee that running game pulling it out for you. I think anything on defensively, I agree. I think Bulls. I mean, he was the Jets head coach for a few years, and yeah, he's blitz happy. Always has been. It's just kind of his thing, where it really wasn't necessary. But on the other side of the coin, they completely took Zeke out of the game. Wasn't even a factor at all. I know he had a good game picking up the blitzes. He blocked his ass off, but that's one of their better weapons. And took him completely out of the equation. Said, come beat us with the passing game, and that's why Dak threw nearly 60 fucking balls that game.
Yeah.
Which almost worked out for him. But like you said, that's not sustainable in any way. They can't do that every week. They're going to have to get that running game going, the Cowboys. I lost my train of thought there. No, the defense. I thought the Bucs defense looked solid in the run game. But yeah, the Bulls is going to have to adjust on that one a little bit if they face another team that can air it out. As far as the Cowboys, man, Dak, holy shit, good for him. This is the first live action he's had since he was injured, if I'm not mistaken. Because I don't count practice as live action. And he looked great. He looked amazing. Those receivers are solid. Sucks that Gallup got injured because he's severely underrated. But CeeDee Lamb had a few drops here and there, but really came on. He showed that run after the catch ability that got him drafted as high as he got. But I think my main point as far as the Cowboys is, yeah, the defense looked way better than last year because they were almost historically bad. So I guess just to put a cherry on top, what a fucking game.
Hell of a game, 100%.
Yeah.
I almost went to you second, but then I wanted to go to you last because he said something about Dallas being kind of back, and I wanted you to stew on it, so you can now be unleashed.
I'm stewing. I thought it was a great game. Listen, they're a rival for my team, but I'll give it to Dak. Dak looked excellent, but I think we need to take it easy with worrying about the run game for either team. I mean, Dallas had 62 yards rushing, and Tampa had 52 yards rushing. That's crazy. I think it was because Dallas just came out with such a great game plan. They set the tone. You knew after the first quarter that it was going to basically be a shootout. You knew it was coming. You saw Brady. They were trying to get Fournette going. They're trying to get Jones going. Zeke had a couple of nice rushes, but then they aired it out. Then Tom threw a touchdown, and you knew it was just going to go back and forth. And that's just the way I think they set the tone. I think both teams are. I think they're both pretty much set up front. Listen, what is Tom, 43 now? 43, is that
44, right?
44.
44, yeah.
44. 44. You're not going to have a 44-year-old quarterback back there, even though it's Tom Brady, without a good offensive line. That offensive line is really, really churning right now. And the same goes for Dallas. That Dallas offensive line, even without Martin, really protected Dak. They really protected him. And I'm going to tell you right now, because if that offensive line was a turnstile last night, we wouldn't be talking about, wow, Dak looked really good. We'd be talking about, is he washed up because of the injury? I'm telling you, we've all preached it. We preached it for, this going our second year, talking about offensive line is number one. It's key. So you saw two teams last night that have good Hall of Fame quarterback and a good quarterback, but the difference is they both have weapons galore and an offensive line that will give you time to do the things that you need to do. So I enjoyed seeing a good old, a gunslinging last night. I thought it was fun. Tom came out a little bit rusty. Had an open man it was the first series, and Dallas, that defense did break through a little bit, made him rush to throw, and it kind of set the tone where it was like, okay, I need to get the ball out quicker. And you saw Tom adjust, which is, he will, and he just started getting rid of that ball. He started getting rid of that ball quick. I think he got rid of the ball quicker than I think Dak had to, because I give that offensive line for Dallas a little bit of an edge because they're a little bit more seasoned together. I see like Wirfs is getting better. He's still young, so I think they're just gonna get better and better, and that's scary. You give Tom Brady more time to throw the ball with those weapons, it's going to be scary. So no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was the right way to start off the season. It was a good pairing. Better than seeing the Giants play Dallas every year for the past 6 years. So I think it was nice to like spread it out and say, hey, you know what? Let's get a really good matchup going.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Hell of a game, top to bottom. I'll just do some, quick little cliff note stuff from kind of what I saw and things like that. But off the bat, number one, Dak's back. Like, he's fully back. Like, yeah, all credit to the offensive lines of both teams. Those are two teams both with top 5 O-lines. But what struck me, regardless of that, was Dak's composure in the pocket coming off those injuries. A lot of other people would be super gun shy coming out after being banged up like he was, and maybe put a little fear, maybe panic, maybe hesitate, but his composure, that's always the thing that struck me about Prescott, and why I think he's so good is he's so composed. Even keel, super cool, and he still got it there. He stuck in there and took some shots. Yeah, and he delivered the ball where he needed to. Incredibly impressive. I think, I don't think they can do that every game and win games, but Dak Prescott's still probably going to average, like, I would say even like 325 a game for the rest of the year. Like, could easily do that. I mean, he was on
that line and those weapons.
He was on pace for 6,700 passing yards last year before he got hurt. Like, there's something going on there, and if they can keep him upright and healthy, like, that could absolutely happen there. But yeah, again, we talked about it before. Zeke kind of got shut down, but he did great in the blocking game. I liked Tony Pollard the way he looked when he got touches more than I did Zeke. So for me personally, the jury's still out on Zeke if he's back, if he's washed. We talked about it a little bit during the game. I'm not sure, but he played his role where he needed to very well. And we already talked about the wideouts as well. The one thing I didn't hear anybody talk about, and I'm shocked about, is fucking Amari Cooper, man. Hey, remember me? I'm still elite as fuck. That's what Cooper said last night. Hell of a game from that guy, especially once Gallup went down. He started eating up way more targets. I was like semi-surprised, but once it started happening, I was like, why am I surprised? It's fucking Amari Cooper. Yeah. It was one of those moments for me. So very impressed. I was impressed with Dalton Schultz as well. I didn't expect him to be the primary pass catching tight end there with Jarwin there, but he played well. I think Kellen Moore really likes him, so I'm thinking he'll probably
That's a great point, DT. Just real quick, I think that was part of that beautiful play calling from Dallas. They knew they had two good tight ends, obviously better than everybody else thought, and you knew that Tampa was probably scheming for Jarwin, all week for it, and they were like, okay, and we're going to bring this guy, and they probably think he's just he's going to be in there for blocking situations. And they took advantage of it.
Yeah.
I will disagree because Schultz missed some very key blocks in that game last night.
Yeah.
Very, completely whiffed on a couple that could have been really big gainers.
Yeah. I don't think he's a blocking TE, but I'm saying I'm shocked he was utilized so effectively in the pass game. I thought Jarwin would be their pass guy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, the receivers I'm not super shocked about. Cooper went off. CeeDee Lamb, I was a little impressed. I didn't think he would get as much work as he did. And I'm curious about Zeke going forward, and I'm optimistic about Tony Pollard. He does look good when he touched the ball. Defensively, if we're staying on kind of this side of the ball, if theoretically for Tampa, I think, that injury really hurt you guys at corner. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
John Murphy Bunting.
Yeah, I knew it was hyphenated, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong. He's a really good. Is there any update on that? Is he like?
I haven't seen or heard anything yet. No.
Gotcha, but
they had a video clip. While we were chatting during the game, and he got his arm stuck in between the safety and the receiver. And it didn't look good at all. It was almost cringeworthy.
It was,
and he walked off, and it looked really bad. So I'm shooting some prayers out to him because it did not look good.
From the way they positioned his arm and stuff, I immediately thought dislocated elbow, something like that.
That's what it looked like, DT.
Yep.
Yeah.
But best wishes to him. But I think that really opened things up even more because he is one of your better cover guys. And you talked about Bowles. He's always been blitz happy. Former Arizona Cardinals coordinator. I was going to say great, but we know that that's just not true. But yeah, he's very blitz happy. And to play devil's advocate, if you got athletes like Levante David and Devin White back there, you're going to want to send them. So I get it. But I think that's totally fair, especially when you take a blow to your secondary to probably cool off a little bit. I loved Vita Vea last night. That guy was a menace.
He ate that center for lunch.
That guy was a menace last night. So again, I think you guys, I think the offensive scheming of Dallas is more to credit than any sort of defensive ineptitude on you guys' end on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Flip sides. Dallas's defense much improved. I think Dan Quinn's a huge hire for them. He's a very organized kind of guy, like we talked about. He's a defensive guy. I think he was a pretty good head coach. I know things kind of fell apart, but he's a Super Bowl headed head coach. He's a great guy for them to have just in that organization, top to bottom. I've always been a big Dan Quinn guy, and I think you saw the effect of that. Even today, my other striking thing is they gave the rook. Parsons had the comm helmet. He's leading that defense, making the calls. Parsons, he's a rook, and he's very energetic. We know that he's somebody who likes to move. He likes to get to the ball, and Tom Brady took super advantage of that last night. The amount of times he overcommitted on that play action, and then Brady had a guy in a hole. Yeah. That's a welcome to the NFL, homie. You got the worst possible draw as a defensive player, reading and making calls that you could possibly ever have as your first game. So I think Parsons will figure it out, but that was a huge wake-up call for him. Just, he could go against the best ever, one of the top two probably with Manning in terms of selling a play action. Good luck. And
give credit to Jerry Jones. He's little by little, he's like with his Easter basket, and he's picked some really decent defensive players in the past few drafts where now you're starting to see, especially if you listen, I follow, my division pretty closely, and he's actually picked some guys, whether it be linebackers outside, some speed guys, and some pass rushers, and now you're starting to see it coming into fruition.
100%. And I think it's a testament to how much upside, how much faith they have in Parsons that they gave him the comm helmet. So I'm excited to see as he kind of develops what that looks like. And them having Van Der Esch back also, huge deal.
Oh, yeah.
Paid dividends for them. So defensively, pleasantly surprised. Maybe they'll keep it up. Their outside is better than I thought, but I don't know if it'll hold up. I mean, it's not really a fair test when you have the weapons that fucking the Bucs have to be like, assess them in any sort of rational way. So they kept it close. I got to say that. So I'm eager to see what they're doing going forward, specifically with Parsons. On the offensive side for Tampa, everybody said everything. We know they have weapons. We know it's Tom Brady. I'm going to give a red flag. And the red flag is the flags. There was a lot of holding calls, a lot of weird lack of discipline stuff that wasn't apparent a lot last year. I thought that was kind of odd.
Beginning of the year.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if it's a new unit getting used to each other, or if it was Quinn's scheme made them feel they had to do more, holding and desperation. So I don't know exactly what it was, but if there was one takeaway in terms of like concern from that side, other than the running game, I think, that's just going to be probably a mess all year with your three-headed monster. But other than that, like because that's one of the major things that killed Arizona last year, lack of discipline, penalties at the worst times, especially offensively. Yep. If fucking we get another holding in the end zone, I'm probably going to just go to Phoenix and do some things I don't want recorded. So I will not continue that. But so like, I want to see how that looks next week. And and where that comes from. But, offensively, you guys said everything that needs to be said about the Bucs. I just wanted to put in an area of concern there. Because after like, I think 3 or 4, I was like, damn, like this is kind of an issue. Like, what's going on? So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Cox.
11 for 106. So that's definitely a problem. I mean, yes, it was something we saw kind of at the beginning of last year. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things where Tampa's they might look pedestrian early, almost kind of like what they did last year. And then coming out of their bye week is when they'll really turn it on. So it might be something similar, like for the first half of the season, they might kind of look a little undisciplined. They might lose some games they probably shouldn't. And then they'll probably go on a run late in the year. It could be that kind of thing just happening again. I mean, I don't want that. I'd win every damn game if you could, please. But I mean, it's possible. But real quick, Sean Murphy Bunting x-rays were negative at the stadium, so it was a dislocation, but it's not season ending.
That's good. That's good.
At least a month is what Arian said.
Yeah, that's better. I mean, it's gonna be a loss for a little bit, but at least he's gonna be back and okay and things like that. Final thoughts on this, at least for me, is, hell of an opener. Love that. I feel like coming off the Super Bowl anyway, the Bucs are going to be must see, but I think I'm now very eager to keep an eye on more Cowboys games going forward than I was going in. So I may keep a special eye on them, kind of a little bit more. Any other thoughts on this game?
Unfortunately.
No. Any other thoughts on this game or anything else?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs. For now, I guess. I don't know. I just like to be supportive of my friends. I literally just remembered some more huge news. That this wasn't on our run sheet. We didn't discuss this before, but I think it does warrant talking about. The Ravens and their knees. Yeah. The Ravens and their knees. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but I think it's something that's definitely noteworthy in covering, specifically what now is going on in the Ravens running back room. Gus Edwards goes down, season-ending ACL. Marcus Peters goes down, season-ending ACL. That is to follow along with already J.K. Donovan's season-ending ACL. Justice Hill, one of their other RBs, Achilles, a couple weeks back. So, knees are getting torn up down there in the marshes. But now they have Devontae Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray. I think his name's Tyson Williams. I don't know if I need to.
Williams,
I don't know if I need to emphasize it in any way because I've only seen it like written. I haven't seen it spoken yet, but that's looking like the RB room there. I just like, what the fuck's going on over in Baltimore where that happens? It's super unfortunate. I mean, I had Gus Edwards as a handcuff in fantasy, and now I don't. So I grabbed Williams, but now they've signed all these guys. Like, I guess real quick, like, give me your thoughts on what's going on over in Baltimore, and just for a little bit of spice, which one of those RBs I just mentioned is going to be the week 1 starter? And then maybe who gets it, the majority of the carries going forward, because that might differ. I don't know if this was unplanned, so any one of you go nuts if you got something to say.
Oh boy, probably Tyson Williams will start, just because he's been there the longest. So I mean, like, Bell was just signed to the practice squad. Latavius Murray was just signed to the practice squad. So Devontae, how long has Devontae Freeman been there? Like, I don't know. I feel like you just go with the guy who's been there for the longest, so that way you can at least get proper time to evaluate the 3 that you just signed.
Yeah.
And I mean, you should. I mean, who are they? They're playing the Raiders, so on Monday night. So I think you can, ask a little more of Lamar in terms of the running attack and kind of like more designed runs that way if you have to. It's 1 week, so I feel like just go with Tyson Williams, and you can kind of evaluate him at the same time, see what he's got, along with the 3 guys you just signed. So that I would think Tyson Williams, but. If you want me to say a long term who I think is going to benefit in that backfield more, it's probably going to be Latavius Murray. Just he's more of like downhill runner. He can catch, kind of fits their scheme a bit more. So I don't know. I don't even know why they signed Le'Veon Bell. He doesn't fit what they do at all. So, but yeah, I say Tyson Williams will be the starter week 1.
Dope. Anybody got anything else they want to say or add on that whole crazy situation at all?
The Peters one hurts the most by a long shot.
Sure does.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I'll add is that Latavius Murray statistically had his best yards per carry season last year, so he might not be a throwaway.
No.
Oh no, not at all. I think
that's why I picked him up in both fantasy leagues.
Yeah, I picked him up in one of mine. So
yeah.
I think he's been underrated his whole career. So yeah. I've always been a fan.
I'll just add, don't sleep on Devontae.
Okay.
As far as just being on that team, he actually was pretty serviceable last year for us when Barkley was out, and he with that that putrid offensive line we had. He actually was pretty decent. He had some pretty decent games for us. So I think it's going to just depend on who picks up the playbook the best. And like you said, the one guy who's been there the longest probably knows it the best. But he's a veteran. He's smart. I think he'll pick it up. So I think he'll be one of the guys to he'll probably split time with him.
I think that's
Williams. I guess you said.
No,
yeah, Tyson Williams.
Yeah, I think Devontae will be splitting time with him.
I think that's more than fair. I think that's a good take. And I thought of it as we were just talking there, and I was like, I knew something else happened this week, but what was it? But yeah, just to piggyback real quick off Jay as the DB nerd, Peters going down is devastating because he was
huge.
He was across from Marlon Humphrey, who some people would argue is the best corner in football right now. So that duo is unbelievable in the pass defense, and now it's, Marlon Humphrey's still going to be great, but who's there? Who's the next man up? I don't know offhand. Again, I just literally came up with this headline and segment at the moment, so I don't know who it is, but I'm interested to see how big of a wave that makes on that defense, because I think it could be significant. But yeah, I don't know. Fucking figure out your turf or whatever, Baltimore. Goddamn, fuck's going? How many?
Crazy. It's crazy.
Like I said in the group chat, it's shades of MetLife last year.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, you saw I sent him the
Yeah.
It's the last thing we need to put out into the atmosphere.
No, into the aura.
Yeah, the aura.
right.
Oh goodness. I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
sorry.
about to fucking get some candles and get a bucket of fucking chicken and like do some seance and shit.
Okay.
Chicken.
Okay, there, Jobu.
Well, you remember? Yeah, exactly. See,
Yeah.
Cox got it.
Yeah.
Major League was it? Yeah, right.
Yeah, Major.
Major League, where he was getting rid of the bad juju.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
getting rid of
All
the bad
right.
juju.
All right. I got it.
Okay.
Movie in
Come
like
on.
15 years. So.
Bring good luck back.
Exactly.
Unbelievable. But to get back on topic now, we had so much fun with Cox actually hosting a segment the other week that I'm deciding to hand over the reins again. I don't know if you guys liked it or not. I haven't checked yet, but we're doing it anyway.
Well, I missed it, so I'm excited for it, Cox.
Yeah, should be.
It was a lot of fun.
I'll hand the floor over, homie.
Oh, well, thank you. I hope I don't disappoint. So this week we're going to do something a little different. I thought we'd go with some of Coxie's questions. So the first one I have to start, and I want to start with Jay on this one. Who needs to start the year with, in week one, who needs to start better? Sam Darnold or Jameis Winston? Who needs it more? Go.
I'm gonna go with Darnold for the obvious reason. He's playing the Jets.
Yeah.
I think for him, he again, the Jets, and I've said this for like a while now. The Jets did not surround him with the talent that he needed. I get that, but he also was very, very, very bad. And now he's playing the team that gave up on him, and he's playing his. I know they don't play each other technically, but he's playing his replacement in Carolina. And if he beats the Jets, you're not going to hear the end of it for weeks on end about how Darnold beat his old team, and he's back, and he's finally got his weapons and all that. I think Jameis has been in the league a little longer, and he has, people know who Jameis Winston is. I think there's people around the league that don't completely know who Darnold is yet. I know who Darnold is, but the rest of the league doesn't yet.
That's
so
fair.
if he shows out and beats the Jets, which very well could, I think that'd be a bigger win in his for week one. I think that'd be the bigger win.
That's fair. Unc, I mean, like he said, Sam Darnold going against the Jets, but Jameis Winston taking over from Drew Brees now in the first season. And this is also, we shan't forget, the first season we're going to see him after his eye surgery really having a consistent starting role. So does that maybe give him a little bit more of the nod of, he needs it more, especially after coming off of the last time we really saw him was 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
I think that's a great point, Cox. And I want to kind of give the edge to Winston only because Darnold, it's a new team. I know he wants to come on and do great against the Jets. Of course he wants to beat them. But at the end of the day, they're building something over there in Carolina. Second year coach. He's trying to build something. They brought Darnold over. They want to see what he does. I think it's neck and neck. It's close, but I think Winston, he's got bigger shoes to fill, and I just think it's more important that he's going to kind of ease that fan base. Not to mention, they're dealing with a lot of stuff over there in New Orleans. I think he's got they need something good in that city. They need that good feeling. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on over there, and now they have a different quarterback. They're missing Drew Brees. If he can come out there and do it, I just think it's super important. I'm going to go with Winston.
Interesting. All right, D.
Can you
it goes up to you.
Can you repeat the question as written for me so I can get the full context?
Okay, so who needs a better week one start and performance this week? Sam Darnold or Jameis Winston?
The answer is Sam Darnold. And I'll tell you why. Well, the revenge game aspect, that we talked about. He's playing the Jets again. He needs the better week because I think Darnold is on a shorter leash.
Good point.
Jameis is going up against the Packers. Nobody's taken the Saints to win that game.
Right.
Unless Winston comes out looking like he's playing JUCO ball, they'll be like, they'll get him next week. This week, individually, in this first performance is much more important for Sam Darnold for that reason. Because if he can't be the productive guy with his most productive receiver he's ever had, mind you, remember, he's back with Robbie Anderson, and he can't make a supposed team that they should be kind of even with, and can't show that he's like that starter level NFL QB, if not show out, and show that he deserves, a bigger deal going forward, I think that's more significant. Jameis has already kind of gone through the process of humbling himself. He's sat. He's coming out. He's in the NFC's tough as it is. And his first game's against Rodgers and the Packers. He's got Jair Alexander probably covering up his number one. I think he's got a longer leash. So if he plays poorly, people will give him, a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt, which is why I think it's more important that Sam Darnold shows up because, he's kind of in a no-win because if he beats the Jets, no offense to Jay, he beats the Jets. If he loses to the Jets, his old team, the implication is that the Jets were right about him. And I think that's why this game is more important for Darnold than it is for James.
You clearly thought about this more than any of us. Your Honor, we call for a dismissal.
That was very good.
May we approach the bench.
Very good.
Your Honor, Cox.
Yeah. I 100%. I 100% agree with all of
Yes,
that.
sir.
I definitely think it
Yes,
is more
sir.
important for Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to give you 3 games, and I want you to tell me, I'm going to give you 3 teams and their matchup, and I want you to rank for me in order from toughest to easiest, which has in terms of matchup. I hope that made sense.
Uh-huh.
So the Browns, who are at the Chiefs, the Steelers, who are at the Bills, and the Saints, who are going up against the Packers on a neutral site. So which of those 3 teams have the harder matchup? Rank it from hardest to easiest. And I want to start with D on this one since he gave such a poignant answer on the last one.
Hardest matchup is the Steelers going up against the Bills.
Okay.
Because this is, year 16, 17 Big Ben. No James Conner. He's got that young receiving core. Tomlin's looking to, again, not go. He wants to go over 500 again. What's that squad look like after that historic back-end collapse last year? Does it continue to crumble? Does he bounce back? And that's not an enviable place to be in against the Bills. So I say they have the toughest matchup only because I think the gap between the Steelers and the Bills is greater than the gap between the Browns and the Chiefs. On paper, the Chiefs are the tougher matchup, but the Browns are closer to them than the Steelers. So I got to give it to the team with the biggest skill gaps between them. So I think the toughest matchup goes to the Steelers going against the Bills. I would then actually probably put the Saints Packers because again, it's the Packers. Yeah, as number 2 because the Packers. It's the skill gap thing. We have Jameis as an unknown. That's an NFC Championship team that the Saints and Jameis and everybody's going up against. So I'm basing this. My rankings is based off the gaps between the teams. They're all tough matchups. Obviously, that's why you're making us rank them.
Right.
But I'm basing my takes.
Games in week 1.
Yeah.
Big games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm basing my takes based off the skill gaps between the teams. I honestly, I give the Browns I would take probably the spread right now, depending on where it's at, because the biggest question mark with Kansas City is that rush D, and what did Cleveland do? They got 2 of the scariest dudes in the backfield in the whole league. Yeah. I predict big games for the rushing attack. I predict a big game for or a decent game for Jarvis. I think Austin Hooper shows out as like a safety valve. It depends. That rush D is the biggest air quotes weakness now, especially now that they've shored up that O-line that the Chiefs have, and that's a tough matchup to have week 1. So I think I ranked it based, like I said, off of the skill gap between the teams and how I think like the likelihood of the team that's technically the underdog has a chance to win. So toughest matchup, Steelers, number 2 Saints, number 3 Browns. Browns got a shot in that game.
That's fair. I mean, the line is 5.5 right now, so
I'd take that.
yeah, that's a pretty decent line. It could very easily come down to a Butker field goal, if anything. So Jay, I want to go to you next. I want you to rank them. What do you think?
I get where TT's coming from here. I am not a believer in the Saints in any sense of the word at all. I think their receivers are not great. Their quarterback is a huge question mark. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Pack to just run the show, honestly. So that's my biggest differential. Toughest matchup. Yeah. Yep. I'm then gonna go with Steelers Bills. Just because I think Ben's getting kind of old, and that they lost some very key pieces on that O-line. The defense is still pretty damn solid, honestly. They were like top 5 last year, I think, right?
In terms of total yards against, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with that one. I think the Bills, obviously, I hate to say this, but the Bills are they're solid. They're good. They're going to, I do think the Bills win it. Spoiler alert. But I think it's closer than some people might think. And then we go Browns, Kansas City, just because the Browns added some very good pieces of their defense this offseason, and I think he made an excellent point about the run game there. As far as the Browns just running it down Kansas City's throat.
Yep.
But Mahomes is going to Mahomes, so it's all tough matchups, obviously. But yeah, that's my top 3.
Oh, good, Mahomie. I like it. So, just so you're aware, the Saints defense last year was number 5 in terms of total yards against. So that defense can still play. They still have a lot of good players on that defense. So in terms of that gap, that might not be as much as you think. It's just whether or not they can get that offense going. And the Packers were 7th in terms of total yards against last year. So that is a formidable task. So I get what you're saying there. So
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to just light it up.
That's fair. That's totally fair. So Unc, we'll go to you last. What do you got? What do you think?
I'm basically right there with Jay, only because of the new quarterback coming in. I think the Steelers and Bills, I think they're close, and third would definitely be Browns Chiefs. I think they're a lot closer. I actually would, if I had to put some money down, I might throw a couple of dollars down on the Browns to win this game. I just think so the Saints and Pack, they're playing in a neutral.
They're playing in Jacksonville.
They're playing in Jacksonville.
Correct.
So I think that's a disadvantage for them right there off the bat as well. So if I had to rank them, I would say Saints, Packers, Steelers, Bills, and Browns, Chiefs.
All right. So I'm going to go with Steelers, Bills as the toughest. And I'm very, you kind of, got me there a little bit there, Unc. Let's not forget that for these stadiums, this is the first time that fans are allowed back in the stands in great capacity. So the Steelers having to go into Buffalo with that crazed fan base, and I'm really surprised you didn't bring this up, D. That crazed fan base, that place is going to be rocking, and it is going to be so difficult for the Steelers to operate in that stadium. And I think that's why that's going to be the hardest game in terms of the Steelers playing the Bills. They're just not going to be able to operate. Like the Saints, Packers, it's a neutral site. So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily, help them at all. But it's still not like having to go into enemy territory and listen to that Bills crowd, because that place can get rowdy, as I'm sure we are all aware. So that's just where I stood on that.
Well, with that logic, though, we could actually flip the coin and say the Browns got to go into Kansas City. They're the loudest.
Yeah,
they're loud, and even though they're kind of close as far as skill set.
How much does
if you had to if you had to rank to piggyback off where's the hardest place to play out of those three locations, then I would change it and put Kansas City would be number 1.
That's fair.
Buffalo would be number 2, and Jacksonville would be number 3.
Yeah, all fair points. All fair points.
I think
All right.
Jacksonville is hands down number 3 for all.
It's hands down number.
Absolutely.
It's hands down.
Absolutely.
It's hands down number 32.
They're probably giving those tickets away.
I think they are actually discounted tickets.
They must be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Unc, we'll start with you on this one.
Okay.
Number 1 and number 2 picks from this year, both starting in their first games. Lawrence, Wilson. Who has the better start?
Ooh. Ooh.
We got Lawrence going up against Houston, probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league this year. And you got Wilson going up against the Panthers, not necessarily known for their defense.
Mm-hmm.
Unc, this isn't hard.
I'm just. It's not hard. I'm gonna say- the
It's
reason I'm
okay
gonna
to
say-
stab me in the heart. It's fine. It's okay. You can stab me in the heart.
Listen, I'm leaning Wilson only because I like the Jets' offensive line. I think Trevor losing ATN hurt. I think his comfort zone. I mean, listen, you can shake your head all you want. I mean, that's why we're here. We have different opinions. I just think that I think Zach's going to have a better season. I just really do. I don't know why. I just do.
Oh, is it season or
No,
start?
it's just for this game.
Oh, just the first
Just
game?
for this
Yeah.
game.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Then wait, hold on. Can I hit the rewind button?
Yeah,
No wonder why DT was looking at me like I could see through his glasses.
yeah, like what?
It's not hard. No. Yes, I'm sorry. Trevor, all the way. Sorry. I think you meant the season.
You were surprising me because I was really hoping that I would go you, then D, both stabbing Jason in the heart, and then Jason would have to stab
Jesus.
himself. That's what I was hoping
Jesus.
for. Let's go to
I'm
you.
cha-
Do you agree?
I'm changing my podcast name from Onk to Judas.
God.
Because it's definitely Trevor Lawrence.
D, it's all you. Keep it going.
I want to qualify that I love Zach Wilson. I have a $100 bet that he's going to win Rookie of the Year on my sports betting app. I'm putting my money where my mouth is on Zach Wilson. He'll have the better season. Have you guys seen the Houston Texans?
They're pretty bad.
They stink. They stink.
Yeah. It's a dumpster fire over there.
We're having the toilet bowl week 1 essentially with Jags Texans. So Trevor Lawrence is going to have the better game. ETN out hurts them, but everybody forgets James Robinson had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a good running back. Their weapons are all over the place in terms of like they got some guys who could really have a lot of upside over there in Jacksonville. You know, Marvin Jones is always somebody I just kind of low key enjoy. DJ Chark I think is underrated. Laviska Shenault's coming on. He's like Lawrence's favorite wideout target. He's got a big body.
Yep.
Like, and I can't name a single DB on Houston. So
Nor can I.
So if anything, by default, Trevor Lawrence wins this because I can at least name Jeremy Chin on the Panthers because he's good at football.
Wow.
So, but by that logic alone, Trevor Lawrence is gonna probably have a really solid first game, and Zach Wilson
Nice.
could also play very well, but he's got a way tougher road to get there. People forget that Carolina sneaks up on you defensively.
Yeah.
Mhm. They do.
They're sneaky defensively. They gave Arizona fits a couple years ago. We took an L, and I was shocked by it, but they'll play up to you. They'll play you tough. So I gotta go Trevor here. Sorry, Jay.
That's fine. I have one comment on this question. Houston fucking sucks. Trevor Lawrence.
Fair enough.
I got out of that exactly what I wanted, and I'm very happy. All right. So Jay, we'll go now with an interdivision question. Has nothing to do with your team, but the Alabama rematch. So we have Tua versus Mac, both Alabama quarterbacks. Tua coming off of a not so impressive rookie season, and Mac, by all accounts, has a lot of high hopes going into his rookie season. Who needs the win more? Who would it mean more for to win this game? Would it mean more for Tua or would it mean more for Mac?
Ooh.
Tua.
Tua? Okay,
Yeah.
go on.
And my reasoning behind that is because I don't know if you guys have been listening to sports radio for the last 6 months. There's a million question marks surrounding Tua right now. Like there's been rumors about them trading, for Deshaun Watson. He wasn't made a captain. Like all these things. Like everyone is so up in the air. And I mean, it pains me to say as a Jets fan because I kind of love it, but we haven't given the kid a chance yet. He was coming off a severe hip injury. Yeah. He was in and out of the lineup last year, and everyone's already writing him off. Whereas Mac Jones is a rook, and if he has one of these, if he has a rookie game, then it's his first start ever. And he was a 15th overall pick. So yeah, it would mean a lot more to Tua. If Tua wins this game against the Patriots, everyone's gonna lose their fucking minds. So yeah, Tua.
Yeah, interesting. I wanna add a little something before we go to D. With the Patriots, we all know how arrogant their fan base is and how entitled they've become. So if Mac Jones doesn't get the win, when he's deemed as the future, where there'll be any question marks surrounding that about him being the future, would that maybe make it more meaningful for him to win, to kind of solidify it real early that he looks like the future?
I think for
Hey, you gave your answer.
I also thought you were asking.
My bad.
I thought that was a follow-up question.
No,
you can take it. You can take it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. No, I don't at all. I think the Patriots fans are all bought in, and I think they'll make the excuses they always make and say, "Oh, this is his first start. He'll be fine."
That's fair. D?
I think that's a rational response. Like
it is.
Patriots fans, you sweet summer children. Like, if only you watched football. Like, you don't watch football. You watch the Patriots. It's how do I make that comparison make sense? You guys know what I mean because you watch football. You don't watch the Patriots. I mean, you watch the Patriots sometimes, but
I don't consider it football.
It's it's like saying you like superheroes because you watch the Marvel movies. There's so much more going on with superheroes than the Marvel movies.
Yeah, that's fair.
You may like the Patriots, that's what you know, but there's so much more going on. Mac Jones, people will be talking if he shits himself out there. And literally and figuratively, there'll be a lot of headlines if that happens. But he's, again, you could write it off as a rookie thing. I think there's still, it's going to be like the Cowboys of the 90s. There's going to be a lot of bandwagon holdouts that are going to be reactionary at every turn to their team. And there'll be people, if he doesn't play up to, standard, that say he stinks, he's out. What are we doing? All this stuff. People are hyper reactionary up here. And they also are always looking for somebody to be mad about or yell at, just in any aspect. So if Mac lays an egg, people will be mad, but it's his first game. It's fine. It ain't that deep. This is so much more significant for Tua in so many ways. There were doubts about him last year. They kept swapping him out with Fitzy. He doesn't have his air quote safety blanket anymore. They got to go with him. I think this is an hugely important game for Tua. I think he's set up to succeed. He's got all the weapons a guy could ask for. His line is, I'm middle of the road at best, I would say. I don't think they're bad, but they're not great.
They're pretty bad.
They're not. They're bottom half. That's
100%. 100%. Yeah. But, I've seen a lot worse. So, and their defense, if it's anything like last year, that's where the X factor is, I think, in that game is, can they get to Mac? Can they shake the guy in his first game? Like, for me, it's almost like the win would be more significant for Tua, and that's the answer to the question. And it'd be more significant to the Dolphins, I think, as an organization than it would be to New England. But what's so funny to me about that is I don't think that game will be decided by either of those fucking quarterbacks.
That's fair. Right. That's fair. All right. Unc, finish us off. What do you got? What do you think?
It's definitely Tua. I mean, this poor guy has been scrutinized so badly. I mean, like Jay said, coming off that horrendous, hip injury, and he's really never had that chance. Not to mention, like, you read all these blogs and you read about the fans, and they want, Deshaun Watson over there. They will trade him in a heartbeat. They'll trade him for a bag of balls and some of the cheerleaders over there just to get a chance at Watson. And the poor guy is just like he keeps hearing all these rumblings. So 100% it would be more important for Tua. I mean, he's a rookie. Mac Jones is a rookie. If he doesn't win, which I don't think he will win, I think Miami's defense will do enough. But it's like I said, definitely Tua. That's really all.
That's fair. All right. So I agree. I do think it's for Tua. I mean, Mac is just starting. So yeah, Tua definitely needs it more. Everyone has a lot more questions swirling around him, just like everyone said. So yeah, I definitely agree that it's Tua. So one really quick one, because I'm sure we're getting a little long in the segment.
We're an hour and 11 minutes in. We actually got a good amount of time.
Oh, sweet. Which rookie not on your own team, any position, are you most interested in watching week 1? I want to start with Unc on this one.
Man, that's one of those ones you should have sent to us so I could do it.
Yeah, and to think about that one. Yeah,
you wanted a surprise. You wanted this.
No, I didn't. DT did.
You asked for this.
Oh man,
I got mine. I'll go. You guys, I'll give you guys some time.
Oh yeah,
every day and
give me a second, DT.
I got you. I'll stretch for you. Don't worry. I got you. It's Kyle Pitts, top to bottom, easy.
Yeah.
He's highest drafted tight end ever, replacing. Well, not technically. Well, he's replacing Austin Hooper, which is a pretty big hole. But I'm more talking about them losing Julio. He's the next pass catching option behind Ridley there. He's the one I'm most interested in seeing because you draft a tight end 4 overall. I'm sure he's going to be a massive part of the game plan. How's he look?
Yeah.
Is he going to have a case of the drops? Is he going to what's it going to look like? Can he block these bigger guys? And I'm so interested for so many reasons because all we've heard about the entire time is how he's one of the biggest locks in the draft. Generational athlete, is he? Let's see. I'm interested in all right. I'm hoping Scott Hansen and Red Zone play a lot of that Atlanta game despite what may be going on there in that matchup because I want to see what's going on with him. And it mostly has to do with the hype around him vis-a-vis his position. Again, you're the highest drafted ever at that position. You got to play like it. So for me, it's Kyle Pitts. Is he here? Is he gonna look lost? Does he need to adjust? And for me, again, it's the little things we know he's an athlete. Can he block those big fucking guys? I'm super interested in Kyle Pitts. I thought of that immediately when you came to that question because all I've been hearing is he's the guy. Let's see it.
Yeah, I love that.
I hope I stretched enough for you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say whoever's all right. Well, give it a go.
Well, I'm gonna. Because it's in my area, and I read a lot of the local sports, and I can't pick my own team. I want to see what Zach Wilson is.
Ooh!
All the reports I've been hearing about Zach is he throws a beautiful ball. He's smart. I want to see what he's got. He's got to listen. If Becton can actually stay healthy, he's got a good offensive line, and he's got some weapons. I want to see what the kid does. I really want to see what he does. I mean, listen, I'm not a Jets fan, but I don't hate the Jets. They're local. They're not in my division. So listen, the more the merrier. I would like to see, I'd like to see my nephew happy, and I'd like to see New York have some decent teams.
Solid. I appreciate it.
All right, Jay.
I got one. Najee Harris.
Good one.
Choice.
Yeah,
Nice one.
because the Steelers, the bread and butter has always been the run game. And since Bell left, it's been up and down. Connor was decent and then not good at all. And now they put all their chips in and said, all right, we're gonna draft Najee Harris in the first round and see if we can get our running game back. And I fucking loved him at Alabama. He was phenomenal. And I think he's gonna be really good. The thing that worries me though is that I want to see how I want to call it revamped because they lost pieces, but the new offensive line, I want to see if he can get anything going. I want to see if he's next level good. In his first game, who are they playing this week? The Bills, whose rush defense last year was terrible. They were terrible rush defense. So I want to see if we can get going.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I really like that.
That's a good one, Jay.
It's going to be interesting to see how they, a lot of the problems with that offense last year was that it was unbalanced. And so having now Najee Harris, a true 3-down back, how does that balance out that offense and how much more dangerous does that make them? I'm actually going to go with a defensive player here, and I'm actually going to go with someone in that same game. I want to see what Gregory Rousseau can do.
Ooh, okay.
Because by all the reports, he's been lighting it up and looked really, really good in camp. And Buffalo really, really needs an interior D lineman who can both, stop the run and pass rush. So that was a really key pickup for them in this draft. And, they kind of pushed a lot of eggs into a basket here because of his injury problems. So if he can stay healthy and he looks really, really good, I'm really interested to see how he looks in week 1. Because if he can be a good, building block on that defensive line, and they can add something like that to that team, now they're even more dangerous. Now we're talking like a 14-win team. So if they can get something like that going, I think that's going to be big for them. So that's why he's going to be. And plus, I wanted to go something a little different. We all know how much I wax lyrical about Mac Jones. That would be a boring.
Can I just want to piggyback because I didn't even think defense, but as the resident DB nerd here, we're talking defense. I'm so in on seeing every snap Patrick Surtain takes.
I was gonna. That's what I thought
I'm super into that.
Way, yeah. Or Horn. I was thinking more.
Oh yeah, or JC. Yeah, no, I'm super into both those guys. But thinking about it, like again, for all the reasons I said, Pitts is so interesting for all the circumstances around him. But defensively, I'm glued to the Broncos game for Surtain.
Yeah. And even though I said not your own team, I'm definitely interested to see Zaven Collins.
I have no idea what that's a grab bag. I'm in. Yeah, that'll be cool.
That'll be an interesting one too.
Yeah, I'm sure we could all go on about.
Yeah, we could.
Rookies on our own team.
Oh, I sure could.
Yep.
Didn't you guys draft somebody pretty high, Jay? I don't feel like you talk about it ever.
No. Darnold a couple of years ago, but a new
one. So I just wanted to
get a new water boy.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's nice. Do you pay this one?
Oh, get wrecked.
The Mets beat the Yankees. Suck a dick.
Oh, really? Rough.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
This is a football podcast.
Get me fucking started.
I won't.
I wanted to just finish off the segment. I wanted to give one little food for thought, something that's been on my mind for all of off season. And everyone, we all thought, or at least a lot of people thought, that Mac Jones was going to go to San Francisco, and they took Trey Lance. And I think not enough is being talked about in terms of the connection of how Mac Jones does and how that makes Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers look for taking someone so raw when they clearly need someone who's kind of NFL ready. I feel like those picks are going to be kind of linked together a bit.
Look at this motherfucker trying to justify his shot take. Just to
he's still mad about drinking like half a bottle.
I'm still pissed. Look, it can't be, like, am I wrong to say that,
Christ.
am I wrong to think that the decision is kind of linked? That if Mac Jones does really, really well and comes out the gates hot, and Trey Lance, I don't know if you guys watched him he looked raw. He looked really, really raw. Like this might be a 2 to 3 year project with him. It might be a haul. Like, are they ready for that? Is that something that they can do? Or are they like more in win now mode, and would Mac Jones have been the better call? I just think that's something food for thought to look for throughout the season. If that narrative kind of pops up a bit more, I just wanted to throw that out there in the ether. It's been on my mind. Does Kyle Shanahan look stupid at the end of the year for not taking Mac Jones if Mac Jones has like a really, really good season? I just wanted to end it on that, and we can go to predictions if you would like.
Sure, I could do another hour on the podcast about that shit. So I'm glad.
I appreciate you
Son of a
entertaining
bitch.
me.
And it's so funny. Like you just got done saying 2 minutes ago, it's like, I can go on about Mac Jones, and you brought it back around.
You like that?
I will fucking wrest control of the podcast.
What are you gonna do when Mac Jones plays Josh Allen? Who are you rooting for?
Oh, Josh Allen still.
He just wants everybody to have a good time.
Yeah.
Hey, when they play, he's not even gonna hear the announcers. He's just gonna hear like that 70s porno music.
Yeah.
That's why I just want them to play Sarcastaball.
Oh God, just kiss.
Pickleball.
You disgust me. All right, let's move on.
Thank you.
So I'll go to Cox last in our deep dive analysis because your team played, and I don't know if you have a game already queued up that you want to talk about in its place for predictions.
Not really.
So
we can I'll just float. I'll just give a little bit extra on certain things. I don't have to deep dive on anything.
Sure. I don't know if Unc wants to talk about the game against the Broncos first, or if Jay wants to talk about the Panthers game first. I feel like we've talked a lot about Jets Panthers already, so I'll have Unc lead, then I'll go to Jay, and then we'll talk about I think between our four teams, the game of the week, Cards Titans.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I don't mind talking about it. I'm nervous. I'm nervous as you can imagine. I'm worried about the offensive line. All the reports coming out of practice this week is Barkley is going to play. Barkley's going to play. Galladay's going to play. Tony's going to actually see some action. Not sure how much. It's just Ingram's out, but Kyle Rudolph is going to play. So we're going to see. It's going to come down to that offensive line. They did not look good. They did not look good against the inter-squad, the inter-team practices with Cleveland, and they didn't look good against the Patriots either. They had, some good things here and there. I think they've been shuffling. They brought in some pieces. I think the X factor with this game is the Giants secondary. I think the Giants secondary on paper is probably a top 5 secondary in the league.
Pretty good. They're pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, we're deep at safety. We're deep at corner. Adoree Jackson he's listed as questionable. But I think he will start opposite Bradbury. That's to me. That's the X factor. If we can stop Denver's offense, I think offensively, if our line can kind of, be average at best, I think we win the game. So, like I said, I'm just nervous, man. I'm just nervous. I mean, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Football is back. I can't wait to see this new team. I think we got the right coach. He's got the team believing in what we're doing. I just think that we just need the offensive line, man, and I think we can actually pull this game out.
Got a score?
Yeah, I want to say 27-21 Giants.
Great. I'd be happy to go next, but if you guys want to go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is like a 34-10 game, Unc. Broncos.
That's all good, brother.
I hate to do it because I just think Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he's the future there, but he will not lose them games. I fully agree with you on the X factor is that secondary. And it's that secondary matched up against a lot of really good pass catchers over there in Denver. They got Cortland Sutton. They got Judy. Noah Fant's good. I think Javonte Williams out of the backfield is going to be real interesting to see. Melvin Gordon as well. They're high-powered on offense. They would be higher-powered if they had a franchise QB, but I think even with Teddy there, we've seen him pull some games out before. And I think they're very talented on that offensive side. And on defense, Von Miller's back. That's massive. Pat Surtain, I think he's going to be a dude. My shot take, I think Pat Surtain gets one off Danny Dimes. I'm going to say pick by Surtain specifically.
Someone write it down.
Yeah. Scribe, attend me.
Write it down right now. DT.
Nice.
I think Surtain.
Pick.
I think he gets a pick off Danny there.
Okay.
And I just think that defense, like I said, they got Chubb, they got Von Miller back, they got Surtain. They're really, really good on defense, and they're really solid on offense. I'm high on the Broncos just generally this year is probably sneaking into a wild card spot. So to do that, they beat teams like this. And
Okay.
I think the Giants got a lot of upside to them, especially if they can figure out that line, especially if Danny Dimes becomes who you think he is and who we don't see it in. And I will gladly eat crow if that means Unk's happy and the team does well.
Sure.
But I think, again, I'm going to go like 34-10 Broncos in this
Super
one.
fair. A lot of question marks on my team. A lot of question marks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I mean, so yeah, you're right. That's just it. There's just way too many question marks.
Yeah.
And it's just also a question of, do I trust these guys to stay healthy? Like, I don't know. Maybe MetLife is still a thing. I know. No, don't put it out there.
Oh.
It's already
Now.
it's already out
Hush
there.
your mouth.
Like, it's just the offensive line is a problem. It is a problem. And Danny Dimes is going to be on his ass a lot. Like, this defense is still good. This is a really good Broncos defense. So it's just, I mean, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. I mean, the only, it would have helped you if it was a 1:00 game, because, you know, a West Coast team traveling east for 1:00 is tough, but it's 4:25. So yeah, this is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a 34-10 kind of a thing. Maybe more of like a 27-13 kind of affair.
That's actually a good score. I'm jealous. I should have got that.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going. I'm going to still go with the Broncos. So
That one was for Jay.
That
yeah.
one got me. Am I up?
Yeah, sure are.
I think this is all right. So I think this is gonna be a hell of a lot closer than D and Coxie think. And just for the fact that Teddy is not gonna light it up. He's just not gonna light it up. What is going on in the background over here?
What are you talking about?
All right, never mind. Anyway, Teddy's he's not going to light it up. I know he has all the weapons and everything. That's fine. I think the Giants D's very solid. The Broncos D's very fucking solid. I think really what it comes down to is the fact that the Giants' offensive line's not good, and the Broncos have two premier pass rushers.
Yeah, man.
Bradley Chubb is so fucking good. Von Miller's back and healthy. But like I said, the Giants D is good too, and I don't foresee. I mean, Teddy's not a lighted up guy, so I think it's gonna really be what the difference maker, the X factor, if you will, is the defensive line of the Broncos is gonna beat the offensive line of the Giants, and I'm gonna go with 20-14, I guess.
Okay.
More defensive. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a defensive game.
Cool.
Okay.
Sorry, Unc. Stay hot. Stay talking. Jay, we're going to go to you next. We talked already a lot about Jets-Panthers. Give us your analysis. What do you think's going to happen? What's your score? All that kind of business. You know how we do this.
Yeah. No, this game's a toss-up, honestly. These are two not great teams. I know that the Panthers aren't good. The Jets aren't good, but they're not like bottom of the barrel anymore. The Jets made some pretty key additions. The first being the new head coach and offensive coordinator. And I think what's going to happen here, what it really comes down to is two things. It's going to be the Jets' very, very, very young corners against a really good wide receiver core for the Panthers, and the Jets' interior defensive line versus probably the worst interior offensive line in the NFL for the Panthers. I think
not good.
Quinn Williams could very well decide this game, just because an already bad interior line is starting, I think, 2 or 3 backups to bad players on their offensive line. It's going to be if the Jets defensive line can just, and we all know quarterbacks the last few years have been disrupted the most in the interior. If you can break that pocket in and Sam freaks out and does what he did for the Jets, every time he panics, he's just going to eat it up. And we'll see what our safeties can do. Marcus May, we all know, is a great player. Joyner has had his moments in the past. Obviously, last year was a down year for him, and the Jets signed him. If he can be semi what he was before he signed with the Raiders, then I think we're in good shape there. I think my X factor is going to be the Jets' run offensive line, if that makes sense, because it's very good, and I think we can slow them down a bit. And we have some very underrated running backs. As far as score prediction, it's going to be a tight one, man. It's going to be a very tight one. I think I'll go 17-14 Jets.
I like it. I like it a lot. Oxy.
The X factor for me is Christian McCaffrey, because he's the best player on the fields. Just in general, Christian McCaffrey is by far the best and most influential player on the field. So Christian McCaffrey is going to decide this game. Whether or not he can be, the valve and the reception machine that we all know he can be, and still produce in the running game, if they can really get him going, he should have a huge game here. And if you can do a lot of play action and dump offs with him and get Robbie Anderson going deep and start playing around with DJ Moore, and, Carolina has offensive weapons. They have a lot. I get that their offensive line is bad, but if you can
it's probably the worst in the NFL.
I know, but if you can make good, quick, fast decisions and just get them, at the very least, just dump it to CMC and let him go, because he'll get you yards, he'll get you first downs, he'll get you touchdowns. Carolina can score points. Carolina can give you tough games. I'm going to go with Carolina in this one. I'm going to give them a good, I'm going to go, let's 23-21. It's going to be close, but I think they'll win this game on CMC's back.
I was expecting a lot wider margin there.
No, because their defense is still it's okay. Wilson should be able to go, and they should be able to put up some points. But it's at the end of the day, CMC is going to be the X factor, and he's going to win this game for them pretty much.
Fair.
I think it's a close game. I do. I love the McCaffrey point there, Cox. I think he's going to be the X factor. I do feel bad about that offensive line and Darnold, because it's the poor guy comes over and you think, you put these weapons around him, and then, he's going to have to get that ball out fast. I would love for the Jets to win this game, but I just think it's going to be a close game, but I'm giving Carolina, it's going to be 21-14. 21-14, I think it's a close game, but I just think they just have a little bit more weapons,
Yeah.
Yeah. In my soul, I hope I'm wrong about that, because I am very excited to see what Bob Saleh does with that fucking team. I think the sky's the limit for them. I don't think this is necessarily a bad draw for them in terms of first games. You could do a lot worse for a first game for a rookie QB. However, like I said, as somebody who's played victim to sneaky Carolina before, they'll get you. They will get you. They'll surprise you, especially if you're not prepared. And I think the X factor basically It's like what Cox said and what everybody's saying about the Carolina offense, but I think what the X factor truly is the scheme of Carolina's offense versus Bob Saleh's new defensive scheme. Can he figure them out? That line is bad. If he can figure out a way to get heat on Darnold, Darnold will panic. If they can't get the ball down the field, and if they have anybody vis-a-vis, I don't know, CJ Mosley, who can contain Darnold, can contain CMC, this could easily go the Jets' way and would be a big statement win for the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a big ask. That's a big if in a first game for a rookie coach, rookie QB. So give me the Panthers, but I don't feel good about it. It's like if I would not put money on this game.
Yeah.
But give me. Oh gosh. I'm also not super jazzed about either defense, so I think it may be like weirdly high scoring where maybe some stats get padded. So give me like a 27-24. Like a something like that.
Yeah. I just had one last thing to say. The reason I wore the Mosley jersey tonight is because he had a quote today during the press conference that they asked him about playing Sam Darnold. He's like, yeah, I can't wait to finally be able to hit him.
I saw that. I just went real fast. I look for a lot of Sam Darnold rolling out of the pocket.
Oh yeah,
that line is not great, and he's actually really good when he's on the run throwing the ball.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's
that. I think
that's why he was drafted as high as he was.
Yeah, look for that.
I think that'll be interesting. My game of the week, for obvious reasons. Cardinals Titans. Whoo boy, what a shit draw to start the season. Boy howdy, are we in trouble, is what I'll say. I'm optimistic about the team, the additions we made. I think, JJ Watt's awesome. AJ Green, I think I'd put a shot takedown that I think he wins comeback player of the year. I guess no, he wasn't hurt, so he can't technically win that award, can he? Or can he still? I don't know how that works.
I think you can win it regardless. Yeah,
like on a bounce back season.
I'm pretty sure you can. I could be wrong on that though.
I don't know.
To be honest,
I already made the bet, so whatever. It is what it is. There's a lot of key pieces that we added that I think will be huge, huge, huge for our team in all aspects of the game. But this fucking Titans team is good. And they got Julio Jones now.
Yeah.
My X factor for this game is, does Cliff Kingsbury take the leap and show me that he's an NFL coach who can get all of this raw talent disciplined enough to win games like this that you're going to have to win if you're going to make a deep playoff run? That's my X factor. There's so many things that are so interesting to me about this game because our corners are, I don't know anymore. Malcolm Butler is what he is. Like, I'm not super. I mean, Budda Baker's might be the best safety in football. So happy with that. Happy with our rooks. Happy with our additions on the front. I think that front, that second level, Budda Baker versus King Henry, Tannehill, AJ, and Julio. This is going to be a shootout.
Yeah,
is what it's going to be. But not necessarily all air because it's Derrick Henry. Like, I still expect if we can contain Derrick Henry, we have a good shot at winning this game. If they have to throw, and we know they have to throw, and we can neutralize Derrick Henry, I think we have a much better shot than if our interior falls apart. Then they might just walk all over us. Heart and head here for me right now. It's really difficult.
We can sense it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my team. I'm gonna take Arizona.
Good man.
Because this is a statement win early in the season if we get it. This is the tone setter for me. Even if we keep it close, we have a chance to, make the playoffs and all that stuff. But if we get a statement win early, I'll be, on the bandwagon for us making a run in that fucking division. So give me Arizona. It's going to come down to like a field goal, dog. It's like a 24-21 game. And I'm going to pick Mr. Reliable Matt Prater to get it done.
I like it.
I do too.
Okay.
I'm emotionally exhausted. Somebody else go.
Who wants
Well,
to
Cox,
take it?
I'm not gonna, do you like you did me and say like 40-10, but no, I'm just kidding. I think it's gonna be. Listen, I think you pretty much made the point. For me, it's gonna be, what does your secondary? What do the Cardinals secondary have? They're stacked. So if you're going to be able to throw the ball, does it open up that run game? And does Henry have a field day because you're so worried in the back, worrying about containing the wideouts? Now Henry's running through holes, because the safety's dropped back and he's, having to help out. That's the only thing I worry about. It's going to be close, but I just see the Titans pulling it out 28-17.
Totally fair. God damn, what a game.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good game. I have to agree. So I looked it up. So in terms of total yards last year, the Cardinals were actually 13th in the league, total yards against. And they were 10th in terms of passing yards against. But we get to the rushing yards, 22nd in the league. And so, and you're telling me they're going up against probably the best running back in the league, the best rushing attack. And you're telling me that now they're going to be able to add certain levels of depth to the play action pass game that they couldn't last year with the addition of Julio Jones. Yeah. And they're at home. The Titans. The Titans are going to win this game. I think you're going to see certain good things, out of the Cardinals. I think they should be more disciplined, especially in the defensive side of the ball. I would hope so with J.J. Watt there. I would hope he'd be able to instill some sort of discipline and leadership. He seems like a really big leader. I'm also interested to see how he plays, and if he can really help that run defense. But it's just going to be too much. It is quite the crappy draw first game of the season to have to travel to Tennessee to play them. That's rough. And I can't see. And again, West Coast team traveling east for a 1:00 start on a Sunday is tough. So I'm going to take the Titans here. I'm going to take them 30-17. And I think the Cardinals, at the end of it, we're going to say they looked better than what the score gave. I think it's something to where like the Titans kind of score like something late to kind of seal the game, and it looks a bit bigger than it was. But it's going to be a good game. It's definitely going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you, Jay.
I try.
All right, so a couple factors here for me at least.
Put the third nail in, homie.
Well, one of them being the Titans' defense sucks. They're terrible. They're not good. They have no defensive backs. Name one player on that defense.
Malcolm Butler. Oh, wait, that's us now.
I think Kyler can light up that defense. So what you got to do is, as Cox alluded to, you have a good pass defense. Make Derrick Henry beat you. Yeah, I get it. He's the best running back in the NFL.
He
but
can.
In this day and age, though, if you have Kyler Murray lighting up your defense, then you can't rely on Derrick Henry.
You have to throw the
10
ball.
10 yards, 5 yards, 8. You can't do that. It's just not going to work. So fuck it. I'm taking the Cardinals here.
That guy.
And I'll take it. I'll take the Cards 21-17.
Okay.
Love that.
All I can hear is that song in the background, "Stand by Your Man." Sweetly playing in the background.
I love that. That's a good point, though. I don't think their defense is as bad as you do, Jay, but I mean, if we can air it out and make them have to throw it, it could be more interesting.
Yeah. Force them into a shootout.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I also don't believe that. I know Julio Jones is one of the best to ever do it. I think I don't think it's there anymore. I just don't. He's already been injured in the preseason once this year.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll
We'll see.
Right? I think it's gonna be a good game, though.
Historically allergic to touchdowns as well, so I'm not really, worried about that aspect. But I digress. We got to rapid fire through these games and get to the big question. Boys,
Let's do it.
I have Seahawks Colts. Who you got and why? Let's go back to Jay and loop around.
Colts, good defense. I think the offense will do enough. Seahawks defense is terrible.
So you have the Colts winning, and what's the score? Do you forget how we do this?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
All right, give me the Colts. Fuck it. I don't know. 21 fucking 14. I don't know.
All right, great. We don't have to do scores if you don't want. We can just say the
Scores.
I like it.
scores. Okay, fine. All right, Cox, hit me with it.
I'm also going to take Indianapolis in this game. I just think they have more in terms of a defense to offer than what Seattle does, just like Jay said. So I'm interested to see what Carson Wentz can do with this new team and Frank Reich. And I think they're going to come out kind of firing here, and I think they're going to win, 27-19.
Interesting. All right, Mario.
I'm going with the Seahawks. 17-14. Is Wentz starting?
Yeah.
He is going to start.
Him and Quentin Nelson are both in.
100%. Only reason I'm going with the Seahawks is the guy I work with, his brother, his nephew plays for the Seahawks, John Reed. He played with the Texans, just got signed to their active roster, and he will play Sunday. So I think it's going to be closer. Give it up for the Seahawks. Fuck it.
That's super cool. I hope he plays well. That being said, the Colts win this football game. It'll be give me a 27-20 affair for the Colts there.
Close.
So,
nice.
It'll be close. Both offenses are good. Oh boy, toilet bowl. Jags Texans. Mario.
Oh. Do we have any toilet bowl sound effects? No. Today.
A flush.
So this is Jags Texans, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Jags.
Easy enough. Got a score?
Score of I'm gonna go 27-10.
Solid fucking score. I love that score. Cox A.
Steal that.
Who's next?
Cox.
All right. I definitely think the Jags win this. I think they win it by more. So I see your 10 points for Houston, and I raise you a 35 for Jacksonville.
Damn.
They just
Nice.
have so many weapons.
So should I draw a little lock here for you right here? I'm drawing a lock.
Yeah,
and
there you
putting
go.
it right there next to your
Yep.
name.
Well, it's a stone cold lock. So there you go. 35-10.
Nice.
Jags.
Nice.
Okay.
Am I up? Did I?
Yeah.
Go.
No one said anything. All right. Yeah, Jacksonville. I'm gonna go because the Texans fucking suck. Let's go 31-14.
Ooh.
I'm literally just going to do the exact thing Mario did. 27-10. Jags.
Liked it
Nice.
that much, huh?
It was so good. It's one of the only wins they're going to get, so might as well do it big. Bird game. Eagles Falcons. Jay, hit me with it.
Falcons, more weapons. I think the Eagles are gonna be one of the worst teams in the NFL this year. Give me Falcons 27, Eagles 17.
Sure. Mario.
Falcons 21-10. Jalen Hurts is overrated.
Ooh, says it out loud. All right, Coxie.
Look, I think the Falcons will win this. I think it'll be closer though. I think Jalen Hurts will show us something. But I think it's just Matt Ryan's just going to probably engineer something. He's been doing it a bit longer. So, the experience is going to show through here. It'll be interesting to see how they do use Kyle Pitts and how well he does play. But so I'm going to go 28-24 in terms of the Falcons.
Interesting.
Interesting score.
I'll take the Falcons as well. Clean sweep for the Falcons. Not because I necessarily think they're good, but I don't think that Eagles are that great. A lot of X factors if, Hurts does well and Smith does well and Rieger coming off that injury. If they're like more than we think they are, then it could be interesting for them this game and for the rest of the season. But yeah, give me the established things right now. With Ryan and Ridley and stuff like that. Give me the Falcons defense isn't very good, is it? 28-21 Falcons.
That's not very good, is it?
Yeah, exactly. We got the LA Chargers versus Washington FT. It's in division for Mario. So Mario, go first.
Man, I hate to freaking say this, but I think Washington's going to win this one. I think Washington's just going to pull it out. It's going to be a close one. Give me the Washington football team 20-17.
Fair. Jay.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with the Chargers just because I really like that offense a lot. And as much as I love the Washington front seven, I think push come to shove, I'll take Chargers. Let's go 24-21.
It should be a close game.
Yep.
Ryan?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to go with Washington here. I'm very interested to see how Ryan Fitzpatrick plays. I think this might be one of the better offensive teams he's played on, and that defense is really, really good. And I think between Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson, they're just going to kind of really run shop over that defense. And Washington's defense ain't no joke either. So I'm going to say Washington's going to win this one pretty decently at home, 31-17.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Herbert wins the nail biter, 24-21 Chargers. I think the X factor is Bosa going after Fitzpatrick.
Nice.
Steelers Bills. Let's go with Ryan because it was heavily featured in his segment, and we all know he fillets himself to Josh Allen.
I do, yeah, and I'm going to do it again. It's the Bills. The Bills are going to win this game. I mean, look, the Steelers defense is good, but the Bills offense is kind of better. So, and again, I'm very interested to see how Gregory Rousseau does. Apparently Big Ben is still kind of telling with his leg in the shotgun in terms of if it's going to be a run or a pass. So we'll see if Buffalo can kind of pick up on that. If they do, they'll win this game even more handily than they should. I think they'll win this by at least 2 scores. And I think they'll win this 30-20.
Great. Mario.
Give me the Bills, but I think it's closer than what Cox thinks. I think it's going to be a late score, 28-24.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Give me the same score, but opposite. Fuck the Bills. Steelers win 30-20.
So blinded
Jay
by
going
your
with
hate.
his heart. His heart.
I'm not
There's violence today.
I'm not jumping on that wagon. Bills win this game.
Probably.
31-20 Bills.
Okay.
We'll go with that because that sounds like a fun score. Okay. Niners Lions. Jay, go for it.
Oh, I mean, you got to think about Dan Campbell is a really good. Fuck that. No, the Niners win this game like fucking 35-7. Actually.
Coxie.
Yeah, the Niners are going to win this game. This isn't even a question. I'll say 30-10.
Okay, cool. What do you got, Mario?
Although I think what was the quote from Dan Campbell?
He's gonna eat
What did
their
they say?
ankles.
Yeah,
Fighting
kneecaps.
They were gonna eat kneecaps. Well, I'm sorry, but they're gonna be putting the kneecaps aren't gonna be available this week. Niners 31-14.
Eat kneecaps. The Lions are gonna get kneecapped in this game. Shot take. That Niners front sacks Goff 4 times.
You have a lot of shot takes this week.
I'm trying to get wiggly. I'm not drunk enough.
I got I got a little shot take right next to that game for you, DT.
You got it. Vikings Bengals. Oh God, I had a take for this game too. Damn it. I'm gonna do it still, but
Okay.
oh, hit me with it.
Vikings. Vikings are gonna win this game. I just think that they're just gonna eke it out. They're just a better team, I think. 21-17.
Fair. Ryan, sure.
Thanks. Such confidence. I think I also have a shot take for this game. I'm going to go with Minnesota, and my shot take is that of all the games in the NFL this Sunday, the score differential on this game is going to be the highest. I think the Vikings are going to blow out the Bengals, as they should, if they want to prove that they're going to make the leap to the playoffs this year and really get it done. I mean, their defense, they've spent a lot of, free agency getting people in there to fix that defense because it was a problem. And Hunter's going to be back. He didn't play all last year. 29 sacks in between the last 2 years that he played. That's going to be a big deal. They should destroy the Bengals. That offensive line is still garbage. I mean, yes, Burrow can throw, but I think Minnesota can also throw the ball a little bit. I think they're going to put up 45. I think this is going to be a 45 to 17 game, and they're going to blow it out of the water.
This just in for Jamar. I hear the balls are going to be extra hard this week. So
it's just Rubik cubes that they're throwing at him at this week.
He's like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know what this is.
If you get tackled before you solve it, then it's an incomplete
totally
pass.
different
Oh God.
The college game.
Yeah.
Jay.
Oh, the Vikes, man. I agree with Cox. It's going to be a fucking blowout. I think it's going to be... I will give him, what would you say, 41?
45.
45? I'm like,
Wow.
45. I'll give him...
I was very modest in my score.
I'll go 38 to... let's go 38. 21, I guess.
Oof.
Wow.
Actually, I immediately regret that. Never mind. Not 21. Let's go 17.
Okay. I used the analogy last time when we talked about Joe Burrow and his relationship with the Bengals organization, and I'm going to say it again. The boy cries you a sweater of tears, and you kill him. Because you could have taken a generational lineman here, and you take Jamar Chase, who is on record saying he's having trouble catching NFL footballs. So he cries you a sweater of tears, blows out his knee with a serious injury, and what do you do to thank him? You kill him. And that's exactly what the Vikings. What do you? Okay, go.
I was just going to piggyback on what you were saying. Had Tampa Bay drafted him, at least the balls would have been a little deflated.
Ooh,
It's true.
rough.
Funny.
That's rough.
Was it worth me interrupting you?
Sure thing.
It was.
That being said, I lean more towards where Cox is at. It's gonna be 38 to 10, and my shot take, maybe it's not as spicy as I thought it was gonna be. Was
Another one.
Well, I don't know if it's this might be too lame now, depending on what it is. Is I was gonna say Dalvin Cook scores 2 TDs.
I mean,
I like it.
he probably will.
Well, I checked the betting odds, and you actually win good money if he does it. So I figured.
Just rushing or rushing and receiving?
I was gonna say overall.
Okay.
I'll bump it to 3 if you want me to do it that way.
Oh, I was just curious. I didn't sure.
Yeah, bump it to 3, you puss.
I'll bump it to 3. Fuck you guys.
Damn.
Let's do it. I don't care. I'm trying to get wiggly.
I did that
Okay.
last time.
Yeah, you sure did.
Work out for you.
Yeah.
Macaroni Jones up in this piece.
Yeah. Hey, Unc, you still got to take your 4. You
Oh, that's fair. We forgot.
What about that?
For
fucking
what?
make me suffer alone.
The 4 shot takes for Mac Jones not going 3 overall.
I did 1
When?
already.
We didn't see
I
you.
did see that.
Oh, you saw it. All right.
DT
I'll vouch
DT
for
can
it.
rewind it,
Okay.
I'll vouch for it.
but I got you. I got
3
you, motherfucker.
3 more. Let's
Yeah.
go.
All right, as he goes,
Bitch.
next game we have on the docket's actually Browns Chiefs, which is very interesting to me. I'll go to Cox first.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be one hell of a game. The Browns were on record as saying they wanted a piece of the Chiefs again. Only problem is they're not going to win this game. That offensive line revamped for the Chiefs, they're gonna use it and they're gonna abuse the Browns with it. I still think the Browns will be able to put up points. I think this might end up being a shootout, which will be fun, but I think it's going to be 38-35 Chiefs.
All right.
That's a great score. Jay, go as Unc recovers.
Woo!
How many was that? Was that just one?
Bastards. Really?
You're the one that decided to make that shot take.
Yeah, you agreed to it.
Oof.
Oh,
No,
anyway, yeah.
listen, I'll take it gladly. I'm just saying. Like DT said, I'm getting squiggly right now.
Yeah. Jay, hit me with it.
So while I was hitting those shots, what game are we on?
Browns Chiefs.
Yes.
Oh, Browns Chiefs.
I'm on.
Ooh.
I'm up, dickhead.
Listen, I really so badly want to take the Browns, and I am taking the Browns.
Okay.
I am taking the fucking Browns.
Showing us why he was 4th place last year.
Hey, it's okay. You got to be in it to win it, DT.
No, you're fair.
Go big or fucking go home. Just give me the Browns. I think this is the year. I think they turn that corner. I've seen a little decline in the Chiefs in the past couple of years. Listen, I'm not talking about decline like, oh my God, but you see little by little. Give me the Browns 28-24.
Go. Jay.
Okay. Mahomes was what was it? A neutral zone infraction away from going to the Super Bowl his first year starting. Went to the Super Bowl his second year and won it starting, and then barely lost it last year starting.
Well, barely.
No, it was a blowout.
Whatever.
It's a
Anyway.
blowout. Thank you.
So if that's declining, then sign me up. The better quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. He's winning this game 38-24.
Oof.
Okay.
Chiefs win the game. I think it's less than a score. I think Butker wins it for them at the end. I think that like Cox's score was pretty good. Give me like a fucking, what would that be? 38-35.
Yeah, that was it.
I think it's a high scoring affair there.
Game.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're both really good teams.
Yeah, they're good offenses.
Yeah. Next up, I'm very interested in this one too. Dolphins Patriots. I want to go to Jay last, so let's start with Unc.
Man. I know. It's tough. It's so tough.
You want me to wait? I'll go to Cox first if you
No,
want.
I'm ready. I'm just saying. It's like, I know we talked about Tua really needing this game, and I think it's going to be a closer game than we all think. But I gotta go with the Fins. Give me the Fins. 27-17.
All right, cool. Cox A.
Mac Jones. Mac Jones.
Bob Dole.
Mac.
Oh.
Like he's not gonna like. I would be surprised if he throws more than 25 times in this game, to be honest. But when he does throw, he's gonna be efficient, and he's gonna throw strikes and lasers. He can make any throw. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he goes like 21 for 25. I wouldn't be shocked at that at all.
Laser cats.
You want to drink about it?
Do you have lotion handy?
Greater than 75% completion.
70. Give me 70.
70. I'll give it to you.
What's that shot take?
70% completion. Yep.
Shot take for you?
Yeah, shot.
I'll counter it if he beats it. Not only does he not have to do one, I'll do one.
There you go.
Love it.
I'm having fun, boys.
Yeah. So look, But I think Damian Harris is going to be the real star of this game. I think he's going to run house over Miami's defense here. And they're going to use that, and they're going to eat the clock up a lot. So I'm going to take the Patriots. I'm going to take them 25-16.
Yeah, Patriots scores are normally weird, so that tracks.
That's an odd score.
Yep.
This is a tough. I feel like this is gonna be a really tight one. I feel like this is gonna be like a good game. This is a 425 one, right?
I believe
Yes.
so. Yes.
Okay. All right. Is it in Miami or New England?
New
It's in
England.
New England.
Oh, that makes it harder.
Yes, it does.
Fuck. I'm gonna go with. I'm going with New England.
Yeah.
24-17.
Yeah, you're damn right.
I hate that. Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one to call. Here, Miami normally takes one every year from Bill. Miami normally takes one from Bill in Miami.
Yeah.
With that being said, Miami's defense has not really changed over last year, and they were a very, very good unit who stopped better teams than the Patriots. My X factor for this game is how much of a rookie does Mac Jones look like? If he's got those first game jitters, if anything finally in real live playing the ones against a very formidable defense, if they can get him rattled and get him going, this will be the one that Miami catches them in, and then New England will win at home once Mac's settled. So I'm going to take the Fins because I think with the way the team's set up right now, this is the one that is more ripe for the taking, and they always take one. So in my coin flip of it, whether they win the Miami one or this one, this year I'm taking this one. It's going to be like it's going to be a classic Patriots like close game. You get to the point where they're going to get to it's going to be like a field goal game to win it for the Pats. And unlike so many years before where Brady could get it done, Mac's going to fall short because he hadn't done it before. Maybe it's a blown fourth down conversion or something to seal the game. He's not going to quite get them into range to seal the game. So give me 20-17 Miami.
I like that one. I like that a lot, actually.
Okay, that's a good score.
Yeah. Next up, Packers Saints. Boys, let's go with Mario.
Give me the Packers. I think it's a close game, but give me the Packers 31-21.
Gotcha. Jake.
I'm gonna go with the same exact score, actually. I think the Pack just the more experienced team, better quarterback.
Fair. Dockside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers. I think it really helps them that it's a neutral site. They don't have to go into the Superdome. And Rodgers still has stuff to prove apparently, so that's gonna be fun to watch him do that. So he'll probably win this like 31-20, something like that.
Yeah. I like that score. I like that team. I'm going to do the same thing as Cox, actually, 31-20 Pack. I think they got a lot to prove. Aaron's got a chip on his shoulder. I think this is very opportunistic timing as they're transitioning in New Orleans with Jameis and all that, and with cannot play Mike being out. It's perfectly lined up for them to get a pretty big statement win here. So let's go Pack 31-20, like you said. Three more, boys. Bears and Rams. I want to hear from Jay.
Rams. Stafford. End of story.
Cool.
Actually, not end of story. Here's the epilogue. Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Why?
Score.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears D is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Let me give you like 28-17.
Gotcha, Unk.
I actually had Rams 28-10.
You have it written down. That rules.
I did.
Coxay.
I think the Rams will win this. I think this will be a situation where the Bears defense will keep them in it for like 3 quarters, but that fourth quarter they'll just kind of fall apart. But I think it'll be kind of low scoring because of that. So I'm going to go with 21-14 Rams.
Fair enough. Give me 24-12 Rams. I think it is kind of not crazy high scoring.
Yeah.
But I like that Rams offense with Stafford in it over a long period of time where I think they're going to control time of possession and wear down the D. Where they'll get more points than you would think towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Ravens Raiders. Let's bounce right back to Cox.
Oh, give me the Ravens. I mean, John Gruden they got to prove something, but they're just not going to be able to do it. I mean, look, I get the Ravens are going to have a problem with their running back core, and not having Marcus Peters is going to be a big deal. But I still think that some of their parts is better than the Raiders. I might be wrong, and I sure as hell think Lamar Jackson is going to be better than Derek Carr. At least in terms of being an offensive threat overall. So I just don't expect the Raiders to really beat up on Baltimore. And I could see it going the other way around. So I'm going to go Baltimore still putting up at least 27. I'm going to go 27-17 in terms of the Ravens.
Sure. Do you have that same thing, Unc, again?
I had the same exact score, 27-17, written down.
Yep.
For the Ravens?
For the Ravens.
Love it.
17.
Makes it easy to move on. Jay?
Yeah, man.
I'm actually going to go with the Raiders here. I think those injuries against on the Ravens are significant, very significant. And I think the Raiders have kind of flown under the radar a little bit. They have decent receivers, a good running back, and Derek Carr's underrated. Give me 27-21 Raiders.
Okay.
This is tougher than I think we're giving it credit for. I give this game the X factor of this is the battle of the tight ends. Whichever tight end does better for their team is going to win this game. And I think in this scenario, because he's probably going to have a bigger workload. I actually know with what's going on with Baltimore, probably not. Either way, I think Darren Waller wins this team this game.
He's a good tight end, man.
He's a great tight end. I like their receivers. Josh Jacobs is good. Kenyon Drake may take the field. Who knows? Not that the Ravens defense is bad, but Marcus Peters is a big L for them. And I think they feel that in this with Gruden being as like air it out as he is, you're gonna feel it, especially since this is so sudden. Yeah. I don't know. I don't fully trust the Harbaughs to adjust that game plan in time. So I think it'll probably still be pretty close. So give me like a 24-21 Raiders.
Nice.
Since we're doing Thursdays now, boys, I'm going to go to Unc last. It's Giants-Washington on Thursday. Let's go to Cox.
I'm going to take Washington because their defense. Of
course.
Their defense. Look, I'm picking Washington to win this division. Their defense is really, really, really good, and their offense. I think having Fitzpatrick is going to just make them better on offense. So.
My God, I'm so sick of Fitzpatrick. He's not that good.
He's
not. He's not.
He's when you give him really good weapons, he can have some Fitzmagic moments, and their defense is going to keep him in games. So, look, Washington's going to win this game. They're going to win this like 31-14.
That's a big score. Jay, I'll let you go second because I want to hear from Mario last.
Okay. I think Washington wins this because of their front seven. It's not because of Fitzpatrick in any way. This is a low-scoring affair. 17-14 Washington.
Gotcha.
Fitzpatrick can score so many. Oh my God!
Right. No. Okay. Sure.
Mario,
I can ask the Jets when they had like a good season with Fitzpatrick offensively. How they did.
No, one season.
Guys, we're so close. We're so close. Mario.
So, yeah, listen, I think whatever deficiency on the offensive line that we have going into the Denver, coming out of the Denver game, I think we fix it. Washington hasn't beaten us in 4. They're 0-4. We beat them. it doesn't matter. Like, they had that same freaking front seven last year, and we beat them twice. I think we'll beat them again, and I think it's going to be a score of 31-28.
Wow. Okay.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's the big factor for me in this game is the Giants seem to have Washington's number. And it's been really interesting to see. I think it's close because division games typically are nail biters. I am going, I think, oh God. This is tougher than I want it to be. I'm going to go with Washington. But it's going to be like, I don't think it'll be as high score. I think it'll be a low scoring game. I don't super love either offense too much. Give me like a 21-17 for Washington. The thing is just to addendum the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing. This is the Ryan Fitzpatrick. If you need Ryan Fitzpatrick to win you 3 games, he'll win you 3 games. If you need Ryan Fitzpatrick to win you 5 games, he'll win you 3 games. That's who he is.
He's a painkiller. He literally.
That's who he is. I think he'll be good. I don't think he'll be great. That division's rough, but with the way the Cowboys are looking, and if the Giants aren't any kind of come up, like Mario says, I think it'll be tough. I still do. I'm going to stick to my preseason prediction of Washington winning that division. However, there's a lot of moving parts there, so I'm interested to see. I think
My shot take.
Yeah.
Fits 2 picks.
Okay.
Easily see that. Easily.
Yeah.
Easily see that.
Good shit. That was our last game, boys. Good shit. I'm glad to see what the first rankings look like after this week. We'll obviously report back next week. Let's do the big wrap up question. We talked about it a little bit with rookies earlier in Cox's segment, but boys, who's your rookie of the year, offensive and defensive? And give me a little blurb about why you think that is. If I don't know if it seems like Cox has thought a bit about it, so I'll go to Cox first.
Oh, have I? Oh dear.
Well, you had that question, so I assumed.
That was just more interesting to watch week 1. So so defensive, I think rookie of the year will probably be Micah Parsons. And I mean, I'm a little biased because of what I saw last night. He definitely has what it takes to be a defensive player, a huge defensive player in this league. And again, having the comm mic, helmet for, first game, big deal. That shows a lot. So I could definitely see him winning defensive player of the year. Defensive rookie of the year. Offensive rookie of the year. Script. I'm going to keep going with it. Mac Jones. Let's go, Mac Jones.
Screw it. I'm going to keep going with it.
I'm going to keep
Boo.
deeper. Mac Jones.
I have a feeling I know what Jay is going to say, so I want to go to Mario first. If you say Kadarius Toney, I'm stopping.
No.
If he says what?
Kadarius Toney. What is that?
No. Defensively, I'm gonna say Surtain.
Yeah.
I think Surtain gets defense. And fuck it, I'm gonna go with Kyle Pitts. I know you were worried about how is he gonna be. I think he's gonna be a fucking stud. I think he's gonna be the offensive rookie of the year.
Interesting. I like that. Jay, what do you got?
So defensive player or rookie of the year, I'm gonna agree with Cox. It's probably gonna be Parsons. He looks phenomenal. Everything I've read has said that he has looked like one of the better linebackers that the Cowboys have ever had. So that's interesting. And it sure showed last night for damn sure. Rookie of the year, I'm going with my boy, and I know it's kind of a homer pick a little bit, but I also think he has a better receiving core than Mac Jones, more opportunities than the rest of the class. I don't believe in Urban Meyer at all, so I think he has the best opportunity to put up some numbers.
Totally fair. 100% fair. I think I'm gonna go Surtain as well for defense. I was gonna pick him, and then Mario went, and I was like, well, damn. I'm trying to think of somebody else
Close.
I'm trying to think of somebody else I super love, but Parsons right now and Surtain are clearly like super way too early standouts on the defensive end. It'll probably be somebody that was drafted in like the 4th round or something. Who knows on the defensive side of the fall. Offensively, I'm in a bit of a pickle because I talked to you earlier about how I bet $100 on Zach Wilson to win Rookie of the Year, which is true. I also put down $100 on Kyle Pitts to win Rookie of the Year.
which will pay out more.
That's why I did it. It will pay out a lot more if Kyle Pitts does it. But you guys both said that, and I think they both probably the top 2 to get it. So let's be a little bit more wiggly, and I'll say Najee Harris wins it.
Okay.
So the thing with Pittsburgh Steelers running backs the last 2 decades is they get a workload and they produce. Take James Conner out of the factor because of his trash last year. Go all the way back. I mean, there was Conner before he fell off. There was Bell. Before that, even like Willie Parker. He was, always killing it. The Bus. They know how to scheme and make running backs effective in that system. I think he's got a great shot at it. I didn't put any real life money on it like I did the other 2. But just to be different from you guys, I'd say Najee Harris has got a shot totally at that.
Super fair.
It's silly that it's silly that none of us picked Lawrence because he's like we looked at his weapons like he could totally do it. I think this rookie class, at least on the offensive side, especially it's pretty wide open. There's no clear.
Yeah, well, I almost picked Lawrence just because I know how fucking talented he is. I just think that Wilson has a better situation right now.
Yeah,
I did too. I was thinking of Lawrence, but I was just I just think Pitts was a little bit more outside the box than Lawrence. I think the pundits are all, are all thinking Lawrence. They really are, because you know how the media is. They're like, oh, Trevor Lawrence. They're gonna be following him around. Goldilocks, that fucking hair.
Yeah. Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Exactly.
In before it's fucking Jalen Waddle or some shit.
I mean, exactly. In all, if we're all being for real, it's going to be a quarterback. It's always a fucking quarterback.
Wasn't it Mr. Jefferson? No, it was Herbert, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was a quarterback. That's fair. But yeah, any other final thoughts about this week, the new anything we've covered or anything we didn't cover that you want to bring up real fast here at the end?
No, I'm good.
Feeling good?
Oh man, it was a pleasure getting back with you boys.
I was going to say thank you so much for coming back. We're glad to have you. Thank you all so much for joining us, especially if you listen this far, whether you're watching the video version here on YouTube or the audio versions that are out now. We do have purely audio versions. We figured that out. Our first episode was a little delayed, but we got it up and running now. So listen back to that if you want to get takes that have already aged like milk. And continue to follow us on any, social medias. We have a Twitter account, @ELNFL1. We have, follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd love to hear from you. Put some comments down if you're, especially on the YouTube channel. We'd love to get takes and opinions that we can bring in and talk about. So if you have questions, comments, thoughts, put them in the comments. We'll probably bring them up and talk about them, discuss them. We'll either tell you how we totally agree with you and you're a genius or that you're completely asinine. No, we won't make fun of you. Much. A little bit. You see what we do here. You've been here long enough, you know. If you've been here long enough, you know what's going on. But we really appreciate anybody who takes time to listen to any chunk of this, especially if you've listened this far. So be sure to enjoy this week. First week back, boys. I hope we're all feeling good and excited. Coxie, I'll see you tomorrow, boy.
I will see you tomorrow, Barry.
We're hanging out. We're gonna watch.
You too.
We're gonna watch the games together. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope you're all surrounded by loved ones watching the game you love, and I hope your team wins, unless they're playing our team. It's always how we sign off. We'll catch you next week. Say bye, boys.
Peace out.
Later, Gators.